Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascha Tideshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. My specs is still in repair, so I'll be wearing this for some more sessions. Okay. So last time we were looking into the Shravanam. So we are looking into the 64 Angas of Bhakti described in the second chapter of Bhakti Rasāmṛta Sindhu. And we have completed 42, which is taking darshan of the festivals and arati of the Lord and the puja as well. Now we are looking into the next one, Shravanam. And here we have looked at Nama Shravanam, hearing the names of the Lord, Charitra Shravanam, hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Now we'll enter into Guna Shravanam, hearing the qualities of the Lord. The Bhagavatam verse is quoted here, Yatha Dvadashe, from the 12th canto. Radhakunda Mataji, would you like to recite this verse?
Yes, Prabhu. Yasuttamaslokagुणानुवादः सङ्गीयते भीक्षणम् अमङ्गलग्नः तं एव नित्यं शृणुयात् अभीक्षणम् कृष्णे मलां भक्तिम् अभिप्समानः. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yaha Uttama Shloka Gunanumadaha Sangiti Vishnama Manglaha. So, the Uttama Shloka Guna Anumadaha. Uttama Shloka. What is Uttama Shloka? Sri Jiva Goswami says, Uttama Shlokanam Bhagavat Avataranam Bhagavatanam Cha. So, Uttama Shloka refers to the different avatars of the Lord as well as his devotees. So, those who hear the glories of the different avatars of the Lord, or those who hear the glories of the devotees of the Lord. And who is singing that? Mahatbhigi Sangiyate. Great devotees are, when the great devotees are reciting, if you go and listen to that. Okay. Sangiyate Abhikshanam Amanglagnaha. So that singing itself is, or that the qualities of those devotees as well as the Lord, it destroys the Amangla. It removes all inauspiciousness. Tameva nityam shrunuyat avikshanam. So that should be heard with desire. That should be heard with a desire. And nityam means regularly. Pratyaham. And abhikshanam is repeatedly. So you should repeatedly hear that narration of the qualities of the Lord and his devotees by great devotees. What is the fruit of that hearing? Okay. Shravanasya tasya paramapalamaha Krishna iti. The last line is giving the fruit, which is Krishna. Krishna here refers to Krishna himself. You get Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna Hatu, Bhagavan Swayam. That is Gopala. That is the Lord, Krishna himself. And unto him, you will develop the bhakti, amala bhakti, that is pure bhakti of the Lord. So if you desire, so what the verse says is, if you desire pure bhakti toward Krishna, then you hear the qualities of the Lord and his different avatars and his different devotees, narrated by great devotees, repeatedly, always, every day. This is from Bhagavatam. Let's read the translation from BBT. The person who desires pure devotional service to Lord Krishna should hear the narrations of Lord Uttama Shloka's glorious qualities, the constant chanting of which destroys everything inauspicious. The devotee should engage in listening in regular daily assemblies and should always also continue his hearing throughout the day. Okay. So the next one is Kripa Ikshanam. Kripa Ikshanam means eagerly looking for the mercy of the Lord. When will the Lord show me mercy? That attitude is also Bhakti of the Lord. Ata tat Kripa Ikshanam Yatha Dashame. From the 10th canto it is mentioned. Mataji could recite this verse.
Yes. तत्तेऽनुकम्पां सुसमीक्षमाणो भुञ्जानयेवात्मकृतं विपाकं हृद्भगवपोभिर्विदधान् नमस्ते जीवेतयो मुक्तिपदे सदाय भाक्. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So this is a famous verse. Tatte anukampam susamikshamaanaha. Those who are looking for the mercy of the Lord, susamikshamaanaha, they are very eagerly looking for the mercy of the Lord. What do they do? Bhunjanaha eva atmakritam vipakam. So whatever the karma they have done, whatever the reactions that come out of that karma, that they enjoy in the sense that they experience it without caring for it. They continue to experience it. They don't complain about it. Oh Lord, why did you do this to me? Do that to me? Or when the enjoyment comes, oh, this is my enjoyment. I have worked hard. No, they don't think like that. They just continue to experience. As when you're walking on the street, so many things go around you. You don't care so much about that. You continue walking wherever you are going. Similarly, so you are looking for the mercy of the Lord. So in the meantime, whatever the reactions of your past karmas are coming forward, you just continue to experience that. And then while you are experiencing, what you do, hrid vag vapubhihi, hrid, by your heart, by your words, by your body, all these things you do namaha. This is dandavats to the Lord. You offer respects to the Lord, that person, and then you continue to live your life. Yaha jiveta. What happens to that person? That person, Muktipate sa daya bhak Muktipate. Muktipate is the Lord who is the shelter of Mukti, who is the ashraya of Mukti. That is Sri Krishna. Unto him, he becomes the daya bhak. Daya bhak. Daya means the inherited wealth. So, inherited wealth, you just like a father gives to a son. So similarly, Krishna also gives to this devotee. What is that wealth? He himself. So he himself becomes the proprietor of that wealth, that is Sri Krishna. So let's look at the commentaries here. Vishnu Chakravarti has given expanded commentary, and let's look at Jiva Goswami commentary as well. Tatte anukampamiti atra anukampa ikshanam namaskaracha iti pritageva sadhana dvayam. So here, two sadhanas are mentioned. One is looking for the mercy of the Lord. The other one is doing namaskara or offering obeisances to the Lord. Vaishishtyaya वैशिष्ट्यायः तु एकत्र पठितं Tata ubhayamapi samana palam eva gneyam iti bhavaha. So, for both, if you are looking for the mercy of the Lord or you are offering obeisances, you get the same result for both the things. Navama padarthasya muktehe api ashraye dashama padarthe त्वयि सह दायभाग भवति त्वं तस्य दायत्वेन वर्तसे इत्यर्थः. So the 9 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam we have 10 topics. The 9 topics from the 9 topics are leading toward the 10th topic, that is Ashraya. So that Ashraya is the Supreme Lord Himself. That Lord Himself becomes the proprietor of this devotee. Tvam tasya dayatvena varshate. You are existing as the property of this person. He becomes, he belongs to that person. That is the understanding here. Okay, let's look at Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Tadevam anyat sarvam sadhanam parityajya bhaktim eva kurvan tvam labhate iti prakarana arthaha avagataha tatra. So the context, he is explaining the context. This is coming from 10th canto of 14th chapter. The context is that, looking at the previous verses, that you should give up all other sadhanas. You shouldn't be doing yoga or jnana or karma yoga. All these things give up. Just to do bhakti alone. That is the context. That person, how does he exist? And that person is described here. Okay. Yasmat evam tat tasmat atmakritam vipakam dharmasya hi apavargasya anartaha arthaya upakalpate ityatra pratipadayitum bhaktehi api ananu samhitam palam sukham tad aparadha palam dukkham cha bunjanahe eva. So when a devotee is living his devotional life, what would be the cause of the reactions that he is undergoing? So here Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, when you are doing bhakti, automatically some happiness comes. That is not the main goal of bhakti, but it is a byproduct that definitely comes. You just perform bhakti, happiness will definitely come to you. And then during the performance of bhakti, people commit offenses also. And part of that offense, what comes? Misery. So when a devotee is performing bhakti, he gets happiness and misery. But happiness is coming from bhakti itself, and misery is coming from aparadhas committed in the bhakti. But even though these two are coming, he is continuing to experience without complaining about it. Okay? He is bunjanageva. Tam tava anukampam shushtu samyak ikshamanaha. Samaye praptam sukham dukkam cha bhagavat anukampat palameva yitam janan. So when he is experiencing that, he is still completely focused on looking for the mercy of the Lord. When will the Lord give me mercy? That is what his goal is. He is completely focused on that. But these two are coming. And how does he take that? He says, Bhagavat anukampat palameva idam janan. That this is coming by the mercy of the Lord, this happiness and misery. It is not, he takes it as a mercy of the Lord. He doesn't think that the Lord is, I have done so much bhakti to him, he didn't even care about me. No, he just thinks that the Lord is giving me the right thing and it is coming because of his mercy. Pita yatha swaputram samaye samaye dugdam nimbarasam cha kripaya eva payati. Just like a father feeds to his son at different times. Sometimes he gives him milk. Sometimes he gives him the juice of neem leaves, very bitter in taste. It's medicine to his son. Just as a father gives to his son medicine, sometimes bitter medicine, and sometimes milk. So similarly, the Lord also sometimes gives happiness, sometimes gives misery to the devotee. Ashlishya chumbati panitalena praharati cha iti eva mama hita. So sometimes the father embraces the child and then kisses him. Sometimes panitala means with the palm hand, not with a stick. Okay, with a palm hand, he beats the child so that he doesn't, he becomes proper. That is the goal of the father, not to torture that child. Like that, also here the panitala is mentioned, not stick. Why? The devotee doesn't undergo very severe misery. It's more like, beating with a hand the child, uh, just to correct the course of the child. So, in this way, the devotee thinks, the Lord is doing that to me. Mama hitam ahitam putrasya pita iva mat prabhu eva janati. So, what is beneficial for me, what is not beneficial for me, I do not know. I am an ignorant child. Only my father, Krishna, he knows it. न तु येह एव अहम मयि त्वत् अभक्ते नास्ति कालकर्मादीनां केषामपि अधिकारः. So I do not have any control over these things. This only Lord knows, and He gives me this happiness and misery. He makes me experience this happiness and misery by His mercy alone. Kripaya Sukaduke bojayati cha swam sevayati cha. He also makes me do service to himself. I'm not doing the service. I'm completely focused on the mercy of the Lord. He gives me suffering. He makes me undergo suffering. He makes me undergo happiness. And he also makes me continue doing the service. In this way, the devotee thinks. Yatha chared balahitam pita swayam tata tvameva arhasi na samihitum. This is a verse from fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prithu Maharaj is speaking. He says that just like the father understands, the same mood is explained here, just that the father understands what is good for the child. That way you give to us whatever is good for us. That's what Prithu Maharaj is praying. So in this way, the devotee goes and prays to the Lord. Pratyaham Bhagavantam Vigyapayan. He goes and reveals his heart to the Lord in this way that, you do what is good and bad for me. You know what is good and bad for me. You do whatever you think is good for me. Hridadibihi namaskurvan. He does namaskara or obeisances to the Lord by his words, body, and heart. From the heart, you do obeisances. From the words, you do obeisances. And then by body also, you do obeisances. Now, ativa klishyan. So this is what I was mentioning, that he doesn't undergo extreme misery. Yaha jiveta, one who lives like that. Saha muktihi cha padam cha tayoho dvandva aikyam tasmin sansarat mukta charana sevayam cha iti anusangika mukhya palayoho daya bhag bhavati. So, what happens if he continues to live? What happens he continues to live? He becomes a rightful claim for two things, mukti and pada. He is taking little different interpretation. So mukti is liberation and pada is the lotus feet of the Lord. So in these two things, he becomes the rightful claimant for these two things, the devotee. यथा पुत्रस्य दाय प्राप्तौ जीवनमेव कारणं तथा भक्तस्य जीवनं तच्च इह भक्तिमार्गे स्थितिः एव. So, if a child has to inherit from a father a particular wealth, what he has to do? All he has to do is continue to live. If he continues to live, he naturally inherits it. Doesn't need to do anything great endeavor, right? So similarly, for the devotee to inherit this wealth, that is the lotus feet of the Lord and liberation from this material world, all the devotee has to do is continue to live. Continue to live here means continue to live in or be fixed in Bhakti Marg. Just to stay in the Bhakti Marg. That's it. So he gives the example Dhrutayaha iva shoshanti asubhrataha yadi te anuvidha. So, what does living mean? Asubhrataha, that is living. What does it living mean? Living mean one who is dedicated to the Lord, not like living like the bellows, which is also breathing. They used to blow this bellows, it breathes. Not like that kind of living where your work and your activity is useless or anything. It is just going to be erased by time. Not that kind of life, not breathing like a bellows and living materially, but the living here means bhakti marge sthitihi, fixed on bhakti marga. Continue your life like that, and you will definitely inherit the wealth. That is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying. So this is the Tatte Anukam Tat Kripa Yukshanam, looking for the mercy of the Lord. The next one we are going, this is Smriti, 45th items, remembrance of the Lord. So here Rupa Goswami gives the definition of Smriti. Ata Smritihi, Yatha Kadanchit Manasa Sambandha Smriti Uchyate. Somehow or the other, you engage your mind or you connect your mind toward the Lord. That is Smriti. You force yourself to think. Or you look at a water and then you think, oh, this is the mercy of the Lord, or Krishna is the taste of the water. Somehow or the other, you are engaging your mind, you're making a connection to the Lord with your mind. That is Smriti. So you're recollecting that. Yata Vishnu Purane, from Vishnu Purana, it is given, Smrite Sakala Kalyana Bhajanam Yatra Jayate Purushaha Tam Ajam Nityam Vrajami Sharanam Harim. So remembering which Lord that a person undergoes all Sakala Kalyana or experiences all auspiciousness, and to that person, Hari, and to that Hari who is unborn, who is eternal, I am taking shelter. This is the meaning. Thinking of whom one gets all the auspiciousness, that person, Hari, I am taking shelter. So this is the Smriti aspect is talked about in Purana. Yathacha Padme, from the Padma Purana, Prayane cha yannama smaratam nunam sadhya hanashyati papa gaugaha namaha tasmai chidatmane. Prayana Prayana Kalena Manasa Chalena Iti Sri Gita Dehe. So from the Gita, Sri Jiva Goswami is quoting, what does Prayana Kala mean? Prayana Kala means dying. So at the time of death, or Aprayana, Jivana Dashayam, while you are living, while you are dying, Marana Dashayam, Prayana, or Aprayana, while you are living. In both time, you are remembering the names of the Lord. If those persons who are remembering the names of the Lord, what happens to them? Sadhyaha nashyati papabhagaha. Heaps of sin, they destroy it quickly. Sadhyaha, immediately. And to that person, I offer my respectful obeisances. That is this verse. So again here, the Smriti is mentioned, Prayana Kalecha, Prayana. So Smriti means somehow or other, you are engaging your mind with the Lord. Next one is Dhyanam, meditation. Atha Dhyanam Rupa Guna Krida Sevadehe Shushtu Chintanam. So what is Dhyana? Means focusing on the form of the Lord, qualities of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord, service to the Lord. Sushtu Chintanam. Sushtu Chintanam means it is naturally happening. So this is the difference between dhyana and smriti, remembrance. Remembrance means you are trying to recollect. Dhyana means automatically mind is flowing. That is the difference between dhyana and smriti. We'll stop at Rupa Dhyana. Tatra Rupa Dhyanam Yatha Narasimhe. From the Narasimha Purana, it is mentioned here. Bhagavat Sharana Dvandva Dhyanam Nirdandvam Iritam Papinahapi Prasangena Vigitam Suhitam Param. So Bhagavat Charana Dvandva Dhyanam, the 2 feet of the Lord, one who meditates on the 2 feet of the Lord, what do they get? Nirdandvam. They get Nirdandvam. See, Dvandva, Nirdvandva. It's a play of the word. Nirdvandva, dualities. Dvandva means also dualities in this world. Heat, cold, day and night. So many things you undergo in this world. You transcend that nirdandvam. You transcend that. By meditating on the 2 lotus feet of the Lord, you transcend all the dualities. This is what is said in the scripture. Iritam. Papinaha api prasangena. So even an extreme sinful person, somehow or the other, prasangena, somehow or the other, if he meditates on the feet of the Lord, what happens? Suhitam param. He attains highest benefit. This is said in the same Shastra. Whichever Shastra is saying that one who meditates on the lotus feet of the Lord gets liberation, that Shastra also says the same thing, that even a person who is sinful person, if he meditates on the Lord, he attains a highest result. So we'll stop here. We'll continue from Gunadhyanam from next week. Any questions, comments, thoughts, reflections?
Thank you, Rajajivan Prabhu. Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes,
what is meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord means?
So the meditation is Sushtu Chintanam. Sushtu Chintanam means nice contemplation. So nice contemplation means not just it is forcefully happening. It's naturally flowing. The thought is naturally flowing, but focused. You can say natural may not be the right word. I think the word is that fully focused. Continuous flow of the thought. When you look at the lotus feet of the Lord, you are able to fully look into it in your mind without disturbance coming into the way. That is dhyana. Smriti is your recollecting. Dhyana means that contemplation is happening without disturbance. It's continuing to flow. And when you are meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, you can look at the feet of the Lord in your mind. You can, all the different qualities will come to your memory. Oh, this lotus feet, how much it has helped. For example, the same lotus feet is worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu. The same lotus feet is has given the shelter of Parikshit Maharaj, not Parikshit Maharaj, the Bali Maharaj. So many things will naturally come into your mind.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. I was just thinking, if somebody can look at the lotus feet of the Lord all the time, that is called meditation, but you mentioned that it's constant flowing of all the pastimes and all the different descriptions of Krishna coming to your mind. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. That's a aided meditation. That, for example, when we are reading Bhagavatam, when we read through the pastimes of the Lord, there is a picture, there is a movie. That's an aided meditation. You are still meditating, but aided by reading.
Yes.
If I sit simply quiet, maybe I may not be able to think. But when I read or when I look at the picture of the Lord, as you are mentioning, or when I look at the deity form of the Lord, things will happen in my mind. So these are aided.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Just in addition to that,
Prabhuji, please.
so dhyana is defined in, I think, Patanjali Yoga Sutra as Taila Dhara. Just like when you take the water and try to pour from one pot to another pot, the flow will not be, smooth. But when you take the oil and pour the water from one pot to another, you'll see a smooth flow, Taila Dhara, like how the oil flows. That is called dhyana. And dhyana means which is constantly flowing like a taila dhara, smoothly.
Thank you, Prabhu. That was a very good.
Yeah.
Yes, Radhagunamataji, you were mentioning something.
Yeah, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Very nice, wonderful sharings, Prabhu. I hope this class would be for 1 hour, not half an hour. So it is that sweet to hear all the, the qualities. I mean, this 64 limbs of bhakti is also very, very interesting. And Prabhu, actually, what Ananda Baldev Prabhuji asked, same question I am just thinking of. Smarana, Smritihi, right? Smritihi is a Smarana only, right? Smritihi and Smarana both are same, right? Smritihi is a Sanskrit word and Smarana is English word. Smarana is also Sanskrit only, right?
Both are Sanskrit word, different forms of the word.
Okay. So,
Smritihi, Smarana, like that.
Prabhu, so remembrance, the difference you have mentioned, dhyanam, like, remembrance, I am not able to exactly catch the difference.
So
So,
here.
because when we remember the smarana also, like, now you said the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So you are giving examples. Then I remember Krishna's lotus feet dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, right? So these things comes, but smarana also, same thing happens, right? Like we remember the Lord's pastimes, and his qualities and his form, and so exactly I'm not able to catch between what is the difference.
Shankarananda Prabhu was giving the example of oil.
I did not understand. Thank you to Shankarananda Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji, but I was not able to understand what Shankarananda Prabhu said. Could you please explain one more time?
I think Rajendra can explain that. Prabhu, please go ahead.
Oh, please.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
So the oil nicely flows. If you take a water and then you flow, it doesn't smoothly flow, right? Rather, if you take oil and then flow, it just smoothly flows. So when your focus is very smooth, not very ruffled and jagged, that is dhyanam. When your focus is not like that, somehow or the other, you are just forcing your mind to connect with the Lord. And that is remembrance. You are recollecting. Okay, so I'm walking, let's say I'm doing programming. I want to think about the Lord. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Oh, suddenly I'm just, forgetting it. You can say that you're recollecting it. Huh? It's not so smooth. Dhyanam is somewhat absorbed. You're completely focused. Nothing else is in your mind. Very clean, like pure milk, like that, or the pure oil is flowing without any disturbance.
So, yes, now I understand, Prabhu. So, when do we get to that stage, Prabhuji?
This is all sadhana bhakti.
Okay,
So it's a practice bhakti. I mean, it is not in the sadhana stage only. It is not talking about the final stage. So
yeah, I feel, it's
usually the dhyanam is difficult because people have to be in extreme sattva. Your mind has to be very stable for that. Both people who are in extreme sattva, they can easily meditate. For others, like including myself, it's difficult. So we continue to chant the holy names, and then we hear it if you are not able to meditate, and then we can use smriti process. We can recollect the pastimes of the Lord. We can do assisted meditation, as I was mentioning, like Prabhuji was mentioning that look at the photo of the Lord, look at the vigraha of the Lord, or when you're reading Bhagavatam, it's just, the picture is going on in your mind. These are also dhyana, but assisted.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you, devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very much, President.
Vancha kalpataru.
Yes, sir.